Hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways. And this has been some type of ride we've had. Mr. Captain, the captain's been missing, and I've had a whole lot of bloody second-raters taking over the show, but thank goodness you're back.
Yep. Hi, I'm Stan Ely.
Yeah.
And it's great to be back. I
Stan,
think Stan's he's heavier than me, Stan, you know.
You're not giving up anything.
I watched the shows, obviously, James. I thought they were very good. You kept the flag flying. I thought my three cronies were outstanding.
No, they were useless. Absolutely useless. I must tell you, you cannot have people like that on television. I know that they've got them somewhere filling in. And
Yeah,
that, but,
of course.
You know,
of course.
At least you're back. Thank goodness. Let's go and have a look at 3 to follow.
In the Travers, Flower Alley is the winner.
His dad, Distorted Humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another, wins the Derby. I'll have another in the Preakness.
Lilacs and Lace, 48 to 1, upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Right, we're heading straight to the Vaal, and we've got an 1100-meter maiden juvenile plate for fillies. We pick up the homebred first-timer from Roy Magna. Andrew Fortune rides it. Let's go and have a look at it. It's drawn towards the outside.
Yeah, it's Cash and Camilla, and this horse walks out the gate. It goes up in the air, the others come across it, and suddenly it's way off the pace, and the pace is on. You can see the frosted grass of Gauteng at the moment, so the tracks are pretty quick. And A Million Dreams and TripAdvisor and horses like Sweet Painted Lady aren't waiting around. And Andrew in the blue cap running towards the middle of the track with the brown sleeves, that's the horse we found for you, Cash and Camilla.
Well, it couldn't have been fancier. It went from 10 to 1 to 66 to 1. Fortune's pushing. He's earning his cash in Johannesburg, and he hasn't pushed this hard for his whole life. Here he goes, pushing it along, and it's going nowhere. There's the 5 in front are absolutely clear.
Yeah, they're 6 lengths ahead of Cash and Camilla. Yeah, and as you see, you don't see Andrew Fortune getting it busy on a horse like this. And he's got to realise in the Gauteng you've got to work because they go quickly. And A Million Dreams is going to beat TripAdvisor. But Andrew's still chasing this horse up. And as you say, James, and Toma in 4th runs a good race too.
Yeah, that absolutely flies. You'll see that they both attack the horse with the yellow sleeves. Cash and Camilla gets in Toma's chop, and you'll find that both of them are worth following. But I like the way this thing.
Yeah, I think just got to come at the gates next time. Be with Cash and Camilla.
Right, we're going to Kenilworth. Now you've got to look sharp. This is drawn down the inside. This filly was at the back most of the way and ran on really well at the death. Bred by Vilgabor's Drift, they won the race, and Michael Robinson trained this loose in Africa, rode it. Let's go and look at Pirangi.
Yeah, you've got to watch this carefully because it's also a little slow at the gate, but more slow into stride. There were jumps slightly slow. The yellow sleeves, sort of a reddish burgundy cap, and it can't go with them. And if after they've gone a furlong or so, it is lost. And young Lucian Africa decides to drift it to the middle of the track because the race is on. You've got horses like Set Sail and Son of Midnight who've gone out and made it a quick gallop, and this horse is way off the pace.
Interesting that the winner is in Gang, which we made a one to follow last time it ran after a good race, and it's a sister to Noordhoek Fly. So
well bred.
Very well bred. Apparently Mary gave it to Jessica, and then when his legs came right, Mary wanted it back. Jessica said, no, Mum, you're giving us the horse.
Yeah,
that's it. And it won for them, so it's fantastic. But watch Pirangi, she's left. Right at the back.
3 off the left.
3 off the left, black cap. She switches out, and while the race is going on the inside of her, she just runs on really well at the death. You'll pick her up at the death. They're going through about the 200-meter mark now.
Yeah,
and
she's miles back.
No chance from here, but she's by Ideal World. She's bred to go a trip. And we think that once she goes over a bit of ground, this filly will be well worth following. She'll probably have another sprint up and then have a look at her over a bit of ground. But here you'll see her just flash into the picture. There she is in the black and yellow colours of Maritz Fontaine.
Be with Pirangi. What does Pirangi mean, James?
I've never been there.
Neither have I.
I've been a lot of places, everywhere but the electric chair, but never been to Parangi. Anyway,
Okay.
just shows you. Let's go and have a look at Sunday the 28th at Greyville, KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Day. It was a great big day for them. And the first race was a juvenile plate for fillies. They went 1,200 meters. Sean Terry stepped out the winner and the first timer. Let's go and have a look.
Yeah, Sean Terry is doing exceptionally well. And here's his horse, Intergalactic. It's drawn 1. He's come down for this 200 grand race. Lovely stake. His stablemate, Fabergé Star, was the horse to beat. And that wins the race. But this is drawn 1. It's got the red cap. Gets into the race. And for a debut run with this pedigree, James.
Very nice. It's by Cahal out of Galileo mare. She's going along quite nicely there, but you'll see in the straight she gets left a bit flat-footed and she really doesn't know what it's all about. Sean didn't give any confidence in the pre-race, and I thought this was a cracking good run. The 3 that beat her have all won.
Yeah, funny enough, I listened to Sean when Warren Linferno interviewed him, and he said that he thought this horse could get into money, so he does give it see a future with it, and I thought it ran a very good race. And as you say, James, the horses in front of it are winners at the end.
Yeah, and easy winners. The filly that won the race won by 10 lengths when the one is maiden at the Val, and that's why she looked like a blinder. The second filly ran really well. Lala came from the back. Doug Campbell, hot form.
The Visionaire.
Yeah, Visionaire, and KwaZulu-Natal Breeders, they were right on the mark.
It was a great day, James.
Yeah.
I watched it from home, and a 10 out of 10. The whole production was outstanding, from Martin Locke and Warren Linferno and Kevin Shea interviewing the D's and upstairs. It was just a great day's racing. Speaking to breeders, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, they certainly put on a great show, and well worth enjoying the KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' hospitality on a day like that. We've got the Vodacom Durban July this weekend, so we're going to look at last year's Vodacom Durban July. There are a lot of tears and triumphs for lots of people. Let's go and have a look at what it looked like, and we'll chat about it.
Gates are open, soft falling rain, pulling clear. Soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2,000 guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter. Fast tells, soft falling rain, much too good. Soft falling rain, an impressive guineas winner. Soft falling rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's soft falling rain who is powering away. We'll see out the mile in style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
Handler comes clear. The big showdown. Gates crash open to the roar of the crowd. Espumante's right there in the early stages. White Line Fever has a good early position. As they look for good early positions, Espumante, White Line Fever. Wiley Hall's just off them. Legislate, the pink caps moving around Talina. Halve the deficits behind these. Futura's beautifully placed at the rail, the white cap. Cape Town Noir further back in the running. In the fast lane, Captain America almost came down, had a check for a stride or two. King of Pain moves around runners in the fast lane. Louis the King's 3 around the red cap. Rakes Chestnut third to last. Jet Bell and Cherry on the tops, the trailer in the Vodacom Durban July. Legislate now strides forward. There's no pace on as expected, a number of fighters, and Legislate now looking to do the work in front. Wiley Hall's right there. Espumante's at the rail. Talina. White Line Fever for Turin, halve the deficit. In the fast lane, 6 lengths off the leader. Cape Town Noir. Punta Arenas further back. Captain America. Louis the King raises his crown. He's 9 lengths off the leaders. Jet Bell, Rakes, Chestnut and Cherry on the top. Half the deficit makes a move on the right-hand side. Wiley Hall now picks it up. Half the deficit second. Legislate waits in third. Espumante scraping. Paint 3.5 off them. Telina's further back. White Line Fever Futura. In the fast lane, Cape Town Noir. King of Pain and Captain America, 9-10 lengths to make up. Louis the King's going to have to start up his engine. He's 10 lengths off the leader. Homeward bound in the Vodacom July. Wiley Hall by 2. Legislates and halve the deficit, second and third. Espumanti Talina. Wiley Hall. Legislate now let loose at the 300 metre marker. And Legislate now takes on Wiley Hall. Halve the deficit further back. Wiley Hall digs in. Legislate, they come together. Wiley Hall. Legislates now alongside. Wiley Hall. Legislate. Futurist flying on the inside. Here it comes. Wiley Hall perhaps ahead. Wiley Hall. Legislates on the outside. Futura gets going at the end of the race.
Well, if you ever want a Shakespearean plot, this year's July is exactly that. You find a situation where the horse that had won the race last year is back again to try and win it again this year. The trainer of the horse that won that ended up getting the race last year has now got the horse that looked like the best horse in South Africa this year, and they're bumping heads.
For Michael Leaf, it was more like a Shakespearean tragedy, but the manner in which he took it certainly
he deserves
a
to
great
win.
testament to the man he is, and to his team coming back with a great preparation. So it's going to be a great race, James, in the sense that only 5 who ran last year run again this year. So there's new people coming through. Obviously, the 3-year-olds who are dominating the betting in a large degree, and both you and I fancy the 3-year-olds.
Well, the 1st, 3rd and 4th from last year are back this year.
Yes.
Must mean that they've got to have a chance.
Yeah, James, last year's pace was muddling, to say the least, with the front horses. I watched a horse like Futura, and after reading a very good article by our man, I call him
Carl
Sid.
Medina.
Yeah, I call him
It was
Sid.
a very good article.
Sid the Porn Star. And Sid the Porn Star had given a very good analogy of why he thinks Futura might have a stamina doubt. Now, you're looking at last year's race. It would get the trip, being a slow pace. It would help it get the trip being a slow pace. But this year, it's a year older. It's a stronger horse. But watching the race, James, it wasn't that far back and couldn't quicken when they made the sprint for home. I think Futura needs a pace, which might nullify its stamina. But he's a very good horse, James.
Well, there are very few horses that won the Queen's Plate and the Met in the same year. He ran 3rd last year off a bad prep. He just sneaked into the race.
Yes, correct.
He's got to be the horse they've all got to beat, I believe.
Yeah.
Wiley Hall looks to me to be a huge runner.
Great
then
prep.
you've got the Terry two Terry 3-year-olds.
If Terry were to just forget Terry's 2 3-year-old, Terry's team. Yeah. If Terry wins this race, it's 3 wins in 4 years. That's up with the great trainers of the industry.
Absolutely, up with Sid Laird and
you know it, the great trainers of the industry, Mike de Kock, him, and these guys. And Sean Terry has just done a fantastic job, and he's got, I think, 5 in the race.
5 in the race.
What about your golfing mate, Bass?
Bass, I think that horse might be the best outsider. That looks well. That horse, Helderberg Blue, and he's the type of horse that he'll run in the first 6. I think he'll definitely run in the first 6, and they pay 6 places. It's a huge race. I still think my other golfing mate, my partner, de Kock, he'll win it.
Is he a better golfer than you?
He's always been a better golfer than me, but lacks a bit of beta.
Okay.
That's the problem. I hear that last week there was a big aggravation grudge match. A fellow presenter of yours, a fellow by the name of Dees, and his stable jockey, Anthony Delpeche, gave him and Terry a proper hiding.
De Kock and Terry?
Yeah, they got a proper hiding from those who...
Has an objection been lodged?
So there's this big tournament at the end of July, the one...
The green jacket.
The green jacket could be a lot of aggravation in the green jacket. I'm going to hang in the wings and just swoop quietly.
I think, but James, if memory serves me correct, you're one of the favourites every year and you flop every year.
Well, you know the famous story about the guy where the jockey was asked, would he like to ride the favourite in the Melbourne Cup? And he said no. He said, would you like to ride the winner of the Melbourne Cup? And he said, no, I'd like to ride the favourite.
James, it reminds me, the way, what was the saying? Would I trust you to win the green jacket? I'd rather trust my chickens to Colonel Sanders.
You keep trusting your chickens to Colonel Sanders. I think we've got to move on. Let's go and have a look at Plum of the Week.
Respected Bay, Run for Reverie, red label down the inside. Euphoria still under the hands though, comes forward. Down the inside, Injures Art, red label, and down the inside, Run for Reverie. But it's red label and Euphoria over the last 100. Injures Art's a big runner, and Euphoria is now flat to the boards. And Euphoria still goes though, it's going to win it. Euphoria by a length. Second, maybe red label, Injures Art, and then Overlap.
Well, you could have got even money with Interbet about this one, and it certainly looked like if you're in trouble on the day at KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Day, which you shouldn't have been because everything won that looked like it should win. You had to back this. Anton Marcus, Johan Janssen van Rensburg in firing form, even money on Interbet about this filly, come the whole day of favourites.
And don't forget the owner.
And the owner, Chris
Gerber, who won the big one.
Yeah,
he the million.
Bezanova.
Yeah.
What a day he had.
I bought the mother, Ananova.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was my filly, Ananova. So I've always had a soft spot for Bezanova. I didn't realise he was that good a horse.
He's a very, very good horse.
Very good
indeed.
horse, yeah.
And they put the blinkers on him, which was a worry. Or you'd think there would be a dead pace in the race, but they went reasonably well.
Yeah.
But Anton Marcus was just superb on the day. When there's big cash around,
yeah,
Marcus is your man.
Marcus is a great rider, yeah.
So, and if you'd back that, you knew you were going to win it halfway down the straight. You just had so much in hand.
There was support for it, James.
Yeah, and you better open your Interbet account for this week because you've got the Vodacom Durban July this week is the biggest betting day on the calendar. 100 million rand they're going to pay out to punters.
Wow.
Pick 6 is 12 million. You can bet on the total with Interbet. You get the best prices. You can bet in wins, places, swingers, everything you like. So get an Interbet account and get busy for the July. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with current affairs.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs, and two feature races, both down in Cape Town, but obviously a lot happening this week. And we're going to go straight into Langham, and we're going to have a look at this race here because it shows the stars of the future. Let's go and have a look at the Langham run in Cape Town. It's a Group 3 race for 200 grand.
Just outside of those, and Satkar is at the back of the field and will corner about 8 or 9 lengths off them. They're about to take the angle into the home stretch. They have just over 450 metres left to the line. Larrymore brought the field for home from Ernie. Kemal Kaver has moved up right around runners on the outside. Lord Marshall is back towards their inside. They followed by the Stone Thrower. Ready to Attack is over towards the inside. Lord Marshall and Ernie come together now. Red Rex is running on behind that. Down towards their inside. Ready to Attack in the yellow cap. There's plenty with chances. Lord Marshall is just in front. Now Macduff is charging home towards the inside. Ernie towards the outside. Lord Marshall right down the inside. Ready to Attack. But Ready to Attack has come home best of all. Gets the better of Lord Marshall to win going away. Macduff was back in third. Ernie behind that. They were then followed by the Stone.
Well, there we go. Ready to Attack by Morgan Reddy. More than ready.
Yeah.
Went well, James, for a maiden.
Yeah, it certainly did. Looked like it's been looking for a bit of ground. It's only had 2 starts, but you know, one's got to question what the rest are because when maidens come out and win the Langham,
James, this race has thrown horses up like that, but I think there's some good horses in this race. And the horse that I really think is a good horse is Macduff. And before they came on, it wasn't, I believe, Ramsden's first selection of his trio of horses that were in the race, or the amount of horses he had in the race, but they said that it had problems. He ran a good race, a beautifully bred horse. He's going to go a bit further. And I don't know how good Lord Marshall and Ernie will be in town, but the Stone Thrower looks quite useful.
Absolutely. Langerman always throws up a decent horse. I think the winner might be decent, but let's go and have a look at the Winter Derby. This is a decent horse. The one that won here, Joey Ramsden, got some consolation.
Yeah.
Royal Dreamer is now also on the move from the back of the field. He's looping them 4-5 wide as they start to take the angle into the home stretch. They're about to spin in the stretch now in the Winter Derby, and Liquid Mercury straightened up the leader. Even so, the yellow cap is right alongside him. Royal Dreamer up on the outside, came very wide into the straight, but he's coming home nicely, and Parachute Man is just in behind these. Liquid Mercury, Royal Dreamer moves alongside. Up towards the outside, Night in Seattle is also starting to come home strongly. Liquid Mercury, Master's Eye, they spread across the course. Royal Dreamer's on the outside. It's Liquid Mercury. Royal Dreamer. Liquid Mercury's finding extra in the closing stages, and Liquid Mercury stays on to win. Tight for second. Master's Eye. In behind them, Royal Dreamer. Behind that, Night in Seattle. My World towards the inside was further back.
Well, there's a race that apprentices should watch. A terrific ride by Bernard Fader, but his best. He kept this horse rallying, changed his stick. He fought off Cormac and his mates. And Trippy, James?
Yeah, bred by Drochenstein and Ramsden, the trainer, Joey, Bernard Fader. But you watch the early part of the race, how he puts this horse in the right place to win the race, because this horse normally comes from off them. And he just recognized that the pace was wrong. He needed to be in the right place. And I thought one of Bernard Fader's best rides.
Yeah, I agree. Terrific ride, and got the Derby, the Winter Derby, and under the belt, so to speak. But a lot of horses up close. It was a very good race.
Super race, always is. And, you know, Pocket Power won it before he went on to be a champion. I don't think this horse is Pocket Power, but he's certainly a very nice horse. A couple of things that have happened overseas. The first is Craig Williams has been jocked off Brazen Bow after his ride in the...
James, I watched that race, you know. He's a hell of a good sprinter, and he elected to go by himself and then come across to the middle late.
Well, that was the strange thing. He got a lot of criticism for it.
Yeah, beaten that far by Frankie.
Yeah, and Frankie was at his best.
Was Frankie an American trained horse, I think?
Yeah, Wesley Ward's horse.
Yes,
Wesley Ward, first time he's won the Golden Jubilee. But he's won a lot of 2-year-old races. Wesley Ward's one of the best sprint trainers in the world. Buddy Maroon and Wesley Ward would be the best 2 sprint trainers in the world.
Yeah, very good. So, and the Aussie horse ran a great race. He was just beaten. He's by, I think, I'm Invincible.
I'm Invincible.
Which is, of course, our good mates, the Mitchell brothers. Yarraman Park, that's their stallion who's flown for them. Well. Yeah, so...
well, he's off. Craig Williams stays in Australia. They're going to have one of the
Dolphin boys.
Boys are going to ride it. And
what race, James? They're going down to...
They're going to the July Cup.
Correct.
Yeah,
I've got
that's where they're going.
6 furlong.
It will win the July Cup, I would have
Should.
thought. Yeah, very good horse. The other big news off the wires is that Treve won the Grand Prix de Saint Cloud. And this is fantastic, because remember last year, before she won the Arc, she had a whole lot of mishaps and she didn't look very well and right for the Arc. Now she's come out and won the Grand Prix de Saint Cloud and won it in a canter.
It's great to see people keep their horses racing for a little bit longer, especially champions. People love to see champions. Yeah, and going for a third one in a row. That's out of Anabar Mare.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Anyway, so we watch her with interest. And then the Irish Derby was the big one over the weekend, and Gosden stepped out the horse that ran second in the English Derby.
He's had a wonderful few years, Gosden, hasn't he? Sure. I watched.
He's a good trainer.
Yeah, he's a good trainer. I had my reservations initially. When I worked in America, he worked there, and I thought, and I think he won with Royal Heroine, he won one of the Breeders' Cups, and he was given all these horses, and they never really find to what they were. But he came back to England and turned out to be superb. Yeah. Last few years, outstanding.
Yeah, I think he's across the road from Jessica, so we'll find out from Jessica whether she has tea with John Gosden every morning, you know, because John Gosden, he's not the most social man.
No, he sticks to himself.
He's aloof.
He's aloof, a bit dour. Talking about English trainers, Mick Shannon phoned me.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was buying some fish, a vegetarian buying fish. And
well, I'm glad you're eating fish now, because that will help you get a bit of, what they give you, potassium or something?
No, omega-3, omega-6, but had a long chat to Mick. Yeah, and I said, how's it going, Mick? How many horses now? And he said, I've got 150, but he said, not much quality. He said, a lot of winners. Things are going well, but he said he heard I wasn't well, and he wanted to speak to me. I haven't spoken to him for a year. We played football together. So there was Mick Shannon phoning. What a wonderful man.
Fantastic. Well, I hope a lot of people have been phoning you, because you know what, we've all been concerned, and Nice to see you up and about, but you've got to take it a bit easy.
Yeah, well, you know, Linton's right, the one who said to me, I like he's saying, you've got to look through the front windscreen, not the back windscreen. They all said, go on with your life, don't sit back.
The front windscreen.
Yes, there we go.
July.
This is the front windscreen.
Saturday, it's the big one, and we're going to give you a little insight into what we like. The Pick 6 is worth 12 million rand.
How much, James?
12 million
rand.
You know, 12 million is better than winning the lotto. No. Okay, so let's go and win the Pick 6 for the guys out there. They're all waiting with
James,
bated breath.
if we don't mind, let's work through from the fourth, because I know it's hard. I haven't studied as much as I'd like to, but when I did look at the fourth race, James, I immediately said, I don't want to go out in the first leg. I'm going to load up. How did you see it?
Yeah, I like Smart Mart, Mike the Cox horse. I think that might be the right horse. He's a 3-year-old. He's an improver. But he doesn't look well handicapped with some of these older horses. You know, Kolkata's been around the block a few times, but solid speed. He's won his last 3 in a row very, very well.
Yeah, I think you've got a load, James. I've looked through it and thought, phew, you know, not easy, but let's see what comes out of it. So our advice to you guys is pretty much what you didn't want to hear. Load the first leg. Now we get on to 2-year-olds. I love the 2-year-old racing, James. To me, it's the future. And the slipper is the first one, the golden slipper. These girls, I thought I must come up with about 5 horses or so, James. It's not as clear cut, because at this stage, James, we're at this scenario where horses have won the Group 1s, who ran well in Group 1s over 6 furlong, and you're stepping them up a little bit, and some of them get found out.
Okay, so I like Princess Royal. I've always loved that filly.
Good filly.
She behaves herself. I think she's one of the best around.
Yes, she's got that problem, and you saw a horse behave yesterday of Mark Dixon's.
Yeah.
For Graham Hawkins and his mates.
You know, just to mention that horse whisperer Glyn Redgrave, he's done the work with her.
Yes.
he deserves every accolade you can give him.
And Mark's wife,
Haley, but he's a genius. This guy.
He seems to be, because I was listening to Craig Peters and he was saying, well, we can't seem to get Janssen van Rensburg's horse in, or Janssen Vuren's horse in. Is it going to affect?
She stood like a lamb.
Stood like a lamb.
Yeah.
They've done a wonderful
he was
job.
up in the pens there with her. He's about 6'4". How he gets up there, I don't know. And then he got out the front. He looked very good.
Right. With this feature, the fillies. Now you have got the inside graft, I believe. Yeah. You went and spoke to Mike Azzi.
Mike Azzi told me after the gallops, Frosted Honey will win. Okay?
It's the best of his.
That's what he told me. He said after the gallops, Jamie, and you know, he's
Who's Jamie?
Jamie, I'm
Jimbo.
Jaime. Yeah, sorry, he's Jaime. Have a bet on this Frosted Honey. So Frosted Honey's got
drawn well.
Play.
It's got Pierre Gethoff for my horse riding it.
Yeah.
What about the Mela Maria ran a cracking good race the other day? But I'm a big fan of number 1, James. Al Mashuga.
Al Mashuga.
Yeah, Mashuga.
Yeah, Mashuga. It's absolutely Mashuga.
What do you think of it?
I think the blinkers might make the difference, because this filly has lost her last 2 races because she's been so green it hasn't been possible. So they put the blinkers on. You'll see a different filly from this race.
And your Princess Royal, if she behaves?
Princess Royal, if she behaves. There are a couple of others that look like they've got some real ability in the race.
Yeah.
You know, Miracle Rising ran in a group race and then came out and won a maiden very, very easily.
Yeah, that was
Lauderdale's been there or thereabouts.
I think, again, James, not that easy, but you're going to have to dissect somewhere, because we could. Right, let's go, James. Now that the race that I've always liked, and the race that I thought I was unfortunate not to win last year with Harry's son, was this race where we got taken across the course.
Yeah.
This is the race that basically shows you your Arabian beats, your 7th plane, Group 1 sprinting horses who have to go a bit further. I am really in the camp of Muwari. It has had a crack over Group 1. Things didn't go right. Its other 2 runs have been exceptionally good wins, James. It won at a canter at this track the other day.
Yeah, it does look like the horse have all got a beat, as you say. The sprinters are sprinters. Lineker is a horse that interests me. I think you bought him as a yearling.
Yeah, Lineker really is my value horse in the race. If one goes back to his second start, he really had no prep. Justin said to me, he let him work 600 on the grass. He was telling me, and he said he worked so well. He said, I'll run him in the race. It was touch and go. He ran him. He was going nowhere and flew for 3rd. So he's the roughie. Muwari for me is a major horse. Can a horse like 7th Plane go the trip? Bear in mind, they tried it last year
with the 7th Rock.
With
exactly the same.
Yes, with the same scenario. A speed horse who didn't go on to the. Now you can't always compare them, but it might be the same type of scenario, James.
Well, I wouldn't be leaving him out to pick 6, as simple as that.
Yeah, Marcus.
July? Do you think we can cut them down in the July? Let's go and have a look at the July.
Well, James, in the July, I haven't studied, but I'm like you. I'm a 3-year-old man. I'm going. My first selection is going to be French Navy. I think the track would suit up for him. He's proved it here. And the further they've gone, the tougher he's got. His stablemate is a very good 3-year-old, and of course, Marjorie might be the best of the lot.
Yeah, I've always believed that Marjorie is better than the colts, and I'm sticking with her. I've got to chuck in Futura because he was my long-term selection, and then Wiley Hall. I don't want to be out the pick 6 when Wiley Hall wins the July and gets compensation for last year. So those are my 3.
Okay,
and
let's have a look at the betting. Let's have a look at the betting. James, for me, this horse has improved beyond recognition. Legal Eagle. He's done exceptionally well, but that is thin for me. I would not be taking 5-2 in an 18-horse field against very good horses. Legal Eagle, who has won twice well in bottomless ground. His last win, I think, added a lot of gloss to the picture. He's a very good horse. He's not drawn all that well. He gets a champion rider, and he comes into the race having won 4 or 5, but I say that is thin.
Well, the point is that he's won on long straight race courses. He's now come to Greyville. We've got this half track, and they're going to be turning it on when they turn for home. Will he be able to get to them, or will Anton get him in a very good position? That's the key.
Yeah.
I think Anton might use this horse to try and get him up there. And if he doesn't use the horse, I don't think he'll catch the horses in front.
Yeah, just staying on that betting for a moment. What about the conglomerate, James? A lot of people have suddenly just said, well...
Drawn 20.
That's the
guy
key.
I've never ridden around the track. It's lovely to see Chad Schofield, but I don't think he's got any chance of getting in. He'll either go to the front or he's got no chance. And if I was in charge of him, I'd go to the front with him. And because I think he's a big, strong scalloper.
He's a good horse. He's a very good
horse.
horse.
Drawn 20, I don't think you've got any chance of racing 4 or 5 wide. And
what interests me every year, Linton and I were talking about it. His name keeps coming up, but people say, no, not the 3-year-olds. They say, not every year put the 3-year-olds in because they're very effective. We agree on the old horses, but some of these hard hits is James Coleman for me.
Yeah, I think that it's basically those horses that we've mentioned. Talina ran 4th last year. He gets a great draw. He's never had a great draw. That's going to help him. His preps haven't been that great.
Mark Azzi's horse, just before we move on. Deputy Judd, how good is he?
I don't think he's good enough from draw 15. I don't think he can beat the other 3-year-olds.
Okay, let's move on. We've got a couple more races on the day. It's always very good racing. Now, here's where we come to which race is this?
This is the 1600, the listed race. It's a very interesting race. Because Kochka, who was one of my fancies early on for the July, I thought that he might come through. He's back over course and distance where he's shown his best form.
Yeah, has he got back to it? I thought he'd win last time. He came through and didn't go on with it the last bit. He's a horse that they've done a wonderful job with because of the setback he had.
I thought he ran an absolutely flat race. I thought it was a typical second run after a rest
Could well be.
And you find he'll be, but he's drawn 15. This is not in his favour.
Is it a load-up race, James?
Well, you've got the Hangman, ML Jet. Both of them have got that sort of come-on look. There's a lot of horses in here that have got some sort of chance.
Yeah.
The Cock, I think that he'll improve quite a lot. It's a very interesting race, and you might have to load up because the last leg I'm going to bank one of my favourite.
You're going to Hammy's Hooker.
I'm going Hammy's Hooker.
I'm definitely putting in the same jurisdiction. Those are the 2 I'm going to go for. If I have to go third, I'll go for the course specialist, maybe yes, but nothing beyond that.
Yeah, well, it's 12 races. You've got plenty of chances to get the money. As I say, they're going to pay out 100 million on the day.
Fantastic day, James.
Oh,
and the weather will turn a day later, which is great news.
Oh, will it?
Yes, I went through the weather. We desperately need rain in the province, but we're having a good week. And Saturday's going to be a very good day. So what are you going to wear, James?
I'll go wear my Speedo if it's going to be a good day. I'll wear my Speedo.
On the outside of your tracksuit?
Yeah. I'll go wear my Speedo and my vest. That one with that fishnet vest, That's what I'm going to wear. But you know where I'm going to wear them?
Yeah.
I'm going to be sitting on my couch wearing them.
Oh, aren't you coming down?
No, I'm coming. I'm coming to do some functions. So I'm looking forward to doing them and being part of it.
Yeah, well, that concludes my part of the section. We've got Jessica coming in to join us, and at least we get an eloquent person to talk. And there's a lot to talk about because things are going very well for them, James, with their stallions and their studs and their horses.
I must tell you, when you were on the sick
vacation,
and we had to find reserves. Jessica was the first reserve.
She always should be.
But I ended up having to find other people. It was a nightmare. Thank goodness you're back. good health, and everyone's rallying behind you. We know that we've got a big golf day for you on Wednesday, which should be fun.
Very nice, very nice for the guys to put that together.
And then on Thursday we've got the comedy evening. So I don't know, without you there won't be much comedy.
No, I'll be there. There's Abbott and Crab doing comedy. There's a mentalist. Is that you?
No, yeah, mental. Not just mental. Yeah.
The mentalist, James Goodman. And you know what's wonderful about it? There's good friends are coming out. My friends from Australia here, Vin Cox, Barry Bowditch, and of course Grant Burns, they're all coming out, and Ashley Rushton from America. It's wonderful.
So you're going to have a good team around.
I'm going to have a good team around me. All my mates are out here. And
your daughter's apparently getting a big commendation or something.
She got it. Yeah, she got it yesterday.
Yeah, she got it yesterday.
Yeah, Saturday night. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Well done. So they're all good on every front.
Okay, we'll keep looking through the front windscreen.
That's it.
We will be back with Jessica.
Wiley Hall legislates on the outside. Ventura gets going at the end of the race, but as they come to the line, number 5, Wiley Hall rises up. The Australian import, Wyo Morley's MJ Baderfeld.
Well, it's been a good week for Magic Million graduates. We've got Topless, that one, Amber Orchid, Willow Magic, he was a good winner, and Mela Maria. So there have been 4 very good winners from Magic Millions. But we got big things to chat about, and we're talking to Jessica. Thank you for coming down all the way from Johannesburg for us especially.
Thank you for having me. I did, of course, come down entirely for you, and I'm popping through to the sale straight after this, which just happened.
No, that's just by the by.
Yes.
Jess, you've been in England. How's it going there at Abingdon Place?
Really good. I was over for about 10 days and got to go racing, which was fun in Newmarket.
Did you have a winner?
No, Mum had a runner with Chad Schofield Road, which was quite fun. A filly called Marigold Hotel, and she ran. I think it was a bit too short for her. She's a Galileo filly. And she's going to be running again next time out over 2,000. And I never give people tips because I'm always wrong, but this time I actually feel brave enough to say that's a good tip.
And who trains it?
Stevie's training it at the moment.
Stevie's doing the business. Well, if Stevie's doing the business, that's fine. We thought it might be William Haggis or someone training it.
No, she's at Abingdon.
She's at Abingdon. Yeah. And so how many runners have you had from Abingdon this year?
I don't think there have been many. I think Mike and Stevie have sent out a couple. I think they've got a few more coming up. Most of them are babies at the moment. So they don't have any big guns, which can be frustrating. But then I remember Alec Laird saying to me once, nobody ever commits suicide with a bunch of unraised 2-year-olds, so I think it's kind of exciting.
Well, Alec Laird's done pretty well for you this season. I see that he trained a Group 1 winner.
I know, my first Group 1 winner. It was very exciting. And incidentally, my first winner was with Alec too, so that was quite fun. And it was particularly special for Ideal World. And I was so happy for him and Waishong. They've thought so much of Smart Call for so long, and so she really... it just made the win all the more exciting.
And it was interesting because a lot of people didn't think that she'd go on the track, but you gave her a chance this time. And normally she's been used, and maybe she liked it more the way she was ridden.
She seemed to be pretty relaxed and chilled. Waishong came down a couple of days before and rode her at work and said she felt great. And then actually it was a bit of a touch and go as to whether or not to run her on July Day in the Garden Province. But I think she came out of the race really well, and it's probably a little bit short for her, but she is really well, and we're going to give it a go.
Ideal World, it's very interesting starting a stallion off, and to have a horse that's going to produce stayers is not very easy.
It's not, except he is having winners. He's having some early winners, which is really nice, and I have to admit I didn't expect that, so that's really exciting. I suppose Dane Hill was quick, and Banks Hill was by Dane Hill, so perhaps the speed comes through there. He's done so well. At the moment, he's on 48% winners to runners. He is, he's firing at the moment. We could not be more thrilled. He's had a heap of stakes winners. Now he's had his big Group 1. We've had 40 bookings to him since the win in the Will Lavington, which is wonderful. And he's such a pleasure. He's a gentleman. He's wonderful on the farm. Guy always says he wishes he had 100 of them because he's just easy and chilled and total gentleman.
And now, just talking about your mother's setup, she's got a couple of new ones this year, Flower Alley and Soft Falling Rain. How do they look?
They're both looking amazing, I have to say. They're in new stables with paddocks sticking out from the stables, so they hang out and chat to one another over the fence. I don't know what they say. Soft Falling Rain looks like he's been a stallion his whole life. He's let down. He looks unbelievable. I'm really excited about him. I was actually reading up a bit last night. It is pretty amazing. He was champion 2-year-old here, Equest champion 2-year-old. Then he was champion 3-year-old in Dubai before he came back. He's got speed. And in all those great old books about Claiborne Farm and all those great places, they all went for the champion 2-year-old. So it's exciting, and the speed, and I think he'll be a wonderful addition to the stallions.
They're in the same position as you're in with Ideal World, but there's a lot of cross-pollination. You send horses to each other, don't you?
Absolutely. Listen, we were really lucky last year. Sadly for Mum, Tiger Ridge died, so she was left without a resident stallion. So both Byword and Ideal World got a big chunk of the Wilgerbosdrift mares, and they're arguably one of the best broodmare band in the country. There are many, but they're definitely up there, yeah. So we definitely scored at Mauritsfontein last year with that. And we support one another's stallions. Mauritsfontein's bought shares in both the new stallions at Wilgerbosdrift. They really are, I think they're both very, very exciting prospects.
Byword, I'm interested in him. He was resident in KwaZulu-Natal, and you ended up taking him over, or getting him to stand with you.
Yeah, luckily, it's such a win for us. He's wonderful, and I think he'll bring a bit of speed, which is going to be great. It's exciting. Who knows? The horses all look wonderful. We'll soon. I think the first ones will be on sale next year, which will be very exciting. I don't know. Some people say it's important that stallions stamp their progeny. And I saw a picture the other day that Rob Pickering sent of a bunch of the yearlings in a paddock, and I genuinely thought it had been photoshopped because all of them had these huge big white faces. I thought, no, it's not possible, but actually he has, so you won't miss them on the racetrack.
Bays with white faces.
Lots of chestnuts too.
So chestnuts as well?
Everything with a white face, yeah.
Okay, well, Jess, you're here for the sale, so let's chat about your draft. You've got a actually, let's chat about your mother's draft first. Let's get her out the way. She's got a dynasty.
Yeah.
That must be the first dynasty, or one of the first dynasties that's ever come to the Suncoast sale.
I don't know.
I think there've been a couple, but
I love the sale. I think it's wonderful value for money. I think the sales run so well. I didn't know anything about it until last year. We brought horses down and we loved it. So I think. And Mum loved it last year, so I think thus bringing horses from the Cape. So we're excited. They actually, her draft stopped off at Mauritsfontein for a few days to break the journey, and they came down together.
Well, she's got a Silvana out of Emerald Beauty. That's as well a bred of horse as you'll find on the national sales. Was that a bit late and take a bit of time?
Yeah, I think it was. And you know how with some of these horses, they can look unbelievable now, but may have sort of started off looking slightly squibby early on. They're so young. If you think about it, the sales come around so quickly each year. So it's so nice to be able to have a staggered options, do the best for the horse.
Well, the problem is that you get these late foals, and come March of their yearling year, they just don't look as good as the ones that are born in August. Those August foals just look better, don't they? Because they got 4 or 5 months on the late foals.
Incidentally, actually, I was hanging out with Brian O'Rourke, who runs the English National Stud, and he was saying he can't get over people's fixation with having early foals each, such a big drive. And he said if you look over history at the winners of the Oaks, most of them are late in their season foals. So it makes no difference, these late horses. I don't, people think it puts them at a disadvantage. I think as long as you give them enough time to grow, you're fine.
Funny you mentioned Brian O'Rourke. Michael phoned him for me the other day to find out about a stallion that we got a weanling by, and he's a big expert, isn't he? And he's an Irishman. He's obviously very funny.
He's wonderful, and actually at the moment he's got, Mick Goss runs that fantastic school at Summerhill, and one of our grooms from Wilgerbosdrift is over there doing the course with Brian in England. So I hang out with them a bit with that. It's the most fantastic course. Gosh, I'm kind of envious of them all hanging out at the stud.
Well, they've produced a couple of really good guys off that course already, and it is an amazing initiative. I think Investec are now involved as well, aren't they? They're helping with Mickey Goss's Stallion Day, which comes up after the races on Saturday, and there's a whole lot of people that are involved there.
I'm not sure about the English national stud side of it. Who sponsors or whatever, but it's such a great thing to send people over from here. They have the most wonderful time. They do such great things. Warren's gone and seen all these stallions I wish I'd seen. He keeps sending me pictures, Here's Pivotal in real life, and I'm green with envy. It is very impressive.
But when you're staying in England, don't you sort of wander around and go down to Brian O'Rourke and tell him to pull out the stallions for you?
I did that this trip, which was really fun.
Yeah.
They've actually recently had the Queen go and visit, which was exciting. And apparently she hadn't been to go and see the stud since 1972 or 73 or something. And pitched up, just her, one car, two people in the car, walked around, planted a tree, met everybody from the school, patted the stallions. It's so wonderful.
She's an amazing woman, isn't she? I know your mother had tea with her because I played golf with Jerry Harvey, and he said to me, I had tea with the first lady of racing in South Africa, with the Queen. I said, who was that? He said, Mary Slack. I said, oh yeah, I have met her. Maritzfontein.
Yeah.
You got quite a bunch going on the sale. They're a mixture.
We do have a mixture. We've got a couple of really nice. Hopefully, we've got something for everybody. We've got Ideal World Colt out of Dog Rose, which is exciting. She sadly passed away, which almost guarantees this horse to be good.
Yeah.
We've got two Fort Wood fillies, which probably we're completely crazy to be selling.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Why are you selling Fort Wood fillies?
No, well, I think we earmark them for the sale. We have to stick to it. We do have quite a few mares in foal to Fort Wood this year, so we just keep everything crossed. And they're all sisters of horses we have on the farm already. Otherwise, there's no way we would.
Yeah, the first one that comes up, Queen Anne, beautifully named. Fort Wood out of Brandy Nan. That's well named. That's very well named.
Thanks.
Brandy Nan, Queen Anne. She's got a pedigree to die for.
No, we've got some really nice ones, and I think it's exciting. I really like the Nerdhook Flyers. I hope they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Tiger Ridge, of course, I have a soft spot for. The Fort Woods we probably shouldn't be selling, but we are. Everything's for sale. I think it'll be good. Come to the sales. I'm excited to go and have a look around. I haven't actually been yet, but I'm going straight from here. And I can't wait. I've been looking through. There are a lot of farms here who have got some wonderful looking horses. Elusive Ford.
Whose May name?
Who is May name?
Yeah.
He is actually beautifully bred, and I know people are really liking them. They haven't run.
Does he stand in England?
No. Oh, did he before?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think he started here,
Yeah.
I stand to be correct, but I think he started here. And I know people are very keen on them. Guy Murdoch rates them.
Yeah.
I was having a look through. Boerland's got some beautifully bred horses. You can't go wrong if you can scoop a Vara or a Silvano or something on this sale, then you're out on top. So I think it's very exciting. I've got a long list that I want to go and look at this afternoon.
Captain L, Holy City, nicely named.
I'm mad about Captain L's. I think you can't go wrong with the speed. We're on a new naming mission. There were a few years of some dodgy names at Maritzfontein, but we're trying to put that right.
I remember when your mother and my mother and Liz Wilson used to run the naming agency. You must be very young.
Yeah.
They named horses for Scott Brothers and all those type of people. They charged nothing and named horses, and it was the most impossible thing to do. It's very, very difficult.
But there's nothing more fun when you come up with a really good one, and it's usually after few glasses of wine with some friends, and you have to write it down properly, otherwise you've forgotten the next day. You just hope you remember why you named it that.
But you have got some super names, and you see a lot of people are heading towards not naming their horses. You stick with the naming.
I think just because we always have named, and it's so nice. Some people couldn't be bothered to name. I mean, it doesn't matter at all if they change their names. But for those who don't, it's just easier to follow them going forward. You know, you kind of scan through the Sporting Post, and you pick up names you know before you go through all the pedigrees.
You've never done that situation where they name them they start with C in 1994 and then D in 1995 and
Wilgeworthsdrift did that for a couple of years. I think it's O's this year in the
So
catalog.
Are they all O's?
They're all O's, yeah.
Oh, they are. O'Reilly. We got O'Reilly as well there. So they could have a couple of
I'm amazed
Irish
we got
names.
here.
John O'Gort. We could have a couple of them. But it's a great sale, and it really does make the July this week. You know, with leading up with the sale and KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Day. What do you really expect from it, Jessica? Well, you know. Are you looking for big money for some of these horses?
No, listen, I mean, we're on the main aim is that everything must sell, and you hope that...
Is that the pun, main aim?
No, but I mean, we don't put reserves on.
Yeah.
Everything is there for sale. So you hope you make money, but it's not, you know, we're sort of reaching the end of the season. There have been so many sales already. I'm imagining people have probably spent a lot of their buying money already. You hope that good trainers come through. Last year, was the first time I met Johan Janssen van Vuren. He bought a few of ours. He's fantastic. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a market for people to come and have a look. A lot of, it usually works out. I remember last year Mike missed the sale because I think he'd had too much fun at the golf the day before. So
it's going to happen again this year, let me tell you.
The golf's going to be fun. I keep hearing stories.
Well, we've got the golf day. You know, you've given a service to Ideal World.
Yeah, we've done that. We've sponsored a couple of holes. You'll know it's our hole because there'll be a lot of Jägermeister at each hole. Phil's I figured that was my trademark, so Phil's helping me sort that out.
Phil, Giorgio, and Jägermeister, and you and Jägermeister seem to go sort of hand in hand.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. It's a guarantee that it'll be a good day at the golf.
But just by giving an Ideal World service towards Paul's, medical costs, which are going to be huge, I think is a wonderful gesture. Thank you very much indeed.
No, Paul's such a great friend, and of course we'll, jump in line to help him. I hope the service goes for a lot of money. I actually had a look, funnily enough, at the average price of Ideal Worlds at Nationals, and I think it was about 185, and he's 30,000 a service. That was before he bred a Group 1 winner. Now he has, so I hope people pay a lot more for it.
Have you kept the service fee at 30,000?
Yeah, we kept it at that. I mean, that was
phenomenal.
We decided before the winner. Well, it's difficult for people to get their mares to Kimberley sometimes, and we want to attract some really good mares and get him the numbers he deserves.
Well, Jessica, all I can say is I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope we see you at the golf.
Definitely. I'll be holding the Jägermeister.
You'll be holding the Jägermeister. Well, I think that everyone will take one from you. Thank you for supporting the cause, and thank you so much for coming in. I know that you've been on an extremely tight schedule. We look forward to you selling your horses to the right people, because I know that's just as important as selling the horses to the right people. And you have lots of fun at the sales and this week at the July.
Thanks so much. Well, we look forward to seeing you at the sales. There are many good horses in this catalogue. I've been having a look through, so save some time to come and have a look.
We will definitely be there, unless we all get in the situation that Mike the Cock gets himself in, which is too much drink and too many Jägermeisters. But even that won't keep us away from the sales. Remember, the KwaZulu-Natal sales, and you can be there. Here's the catalogue. I'm going to show it to you. 2nd and 3rd of July. If we can get that up, 2nd and 3rd of July, you don't miss the sale. There's a lot of very nice Maritzfontein horses there. There are a lot of horses from lots of other farms. Thoroughbred Breeders Association run the sale. It's going to be a great week. We hope that you have the best of fun, and hopefully you can pick a few winners on Saturday. From us at Winning Ways, you have a great day.
into second position, but Military Roses giving them a bath. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Grace Villana, the leader. Grace Villana. Grace Villana.
Once I rode a horse for a KwaZulu-Natal based trainer, and he said to me first time out at Clearwood, this horse is a very nice horse, he just needs a little bit further. So it was a 1400 metres and I drew 2 and I jumped out, and when I turned for home I was 6 wide and the horse ran 4th, and I came back and he said to me, what are you doing, why are you running so wide? I said, you said to me the horse needs further, so I thought I'd just run a little bit further.
Buy your KZN bred yearling at the KZN yearling sales on the 2nd and 3rd of July 2015 at Suncoast Casino, and qualify to race on Vodacom Durban July Day for the richest purse for 2-year-olds in the country.